How's it going, everyone? This is the George here, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Once again, this is directed by Francis Lawrence, who directed Hunger Games: Catching Fire and both parts of Mockingjay, and stars Tom Blythe, Rachel Zegler, Viola Davis, Peter Dinklage, Jason Schwartzman, and Josh Andres Rivera. And in this movie, we go back many years before Katniss and Peeta wins the Hunger Games. We're going back to the 10th annual Hunger Games, and we're introduced to a young President Snow who is just Cornelius Snow, and he is tasked with mentoring the female tribute from District 12 for the 10th Hunger Games, Lucy Gray. And the goal is to make sure these Hunger Games are a lot more entertaining because for some reason people are losing interest. And we see a lot of things develop in this movie. The character development of Snow, the ideas that are implemented in the Hunger Games that will eventually impact other Hunger Games. And we get to a point where we start to realize why Snow is the way that he is. So I've already reviewed the first two Hunger Games movies on here based on the first two Hunger Games books. And I gave great reviews to those movies because I thought those were great movies. I have yet to review Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2. And I'll just say I don't hate them, but I feel like that just should have been one movie. When it comes to the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I got the book when it came out. I enjoyed the book, but I did feel like part three was rushed. I wasn't too keen on some of the things that happened in that book. I thought the first two parts were done very well. And if I'm going to be honest, it feels like the author, Suzanne Collins, should have split the book into two parts because one of the things I'm kind of hearing about is maybe this should have been the movie that got split into two parts because of how the third part goes. But I kind of feel that way with the book, to be honest. I think they kind of in the book just put too much into one book, and they maybe could have put the part three stuff and developed it more in a separate book. And I feel the same way in regards to the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I thought the first two parts of this movie were handled very well. It was great to see Tom Blythe perform as young Snow, and I thought he did a very good job with his performance. I thought Rachel Zegler as Lucy Gray was also fantastic. I know there's a lot of controversy with her comments in regards to Snow White, but I'm judging her more so as an actress than what she is in real life. And she was terrific as Lucy Gray. And her singing voice, she's got a great singing voice. She does a great job singing the songs. This is another movie where there's obviously singing from the tributes or certain tributes. Viola Davis, as the creator of the Hunger Games, she was terrific. I thought she gave a great performance. I know some people might say she's a bit over the top, but honestly, I loved how she was handled in this movie. It's like, imagine if you had like a more crazy, out of control Amanda Waller. Peter Dinklage as the dean of the academy that Snow goes to, High Bottom. Very good performance as well. He's also the author of the Hunger Games, and you can tell there's real tension between him and Snow based on personal stuff involving Snow's father. I love how they explore the Snow family history a little bit as well, because you kind of wonder, like, what is his family like? What was Snow like before he became the evil president that's forcing tributes to do stuff, or else he's gonna kill their family? Like, how he manipulates people and all that. So I like that they explored that aspect as well. And I think the thing is, in regards to prequels in general, not just prequel books or prequel movies based on books such as Fantastic Beasts and the Hobbit movies, and I do enjoy some movies from those franchises, but the thing that I think always hurts prequels is sometimes they rely too much on things that set up the future. And yeah, I think there's obviously some hints to what's to come. There's obviously tons of Easter eggs in this movie, but I think as far as just establishing that we're focusing on establishing Snow and building up to that point where Snow just is going to become more evil, you can say. I think they did that part pretty well. But again, the third part does feel more rushed. It's not that it doesn't mean the third part is terrible, but there's some things that it feels like this could have been a movie in it of itself. And it probably could have been, as far as the book goes, a book itself. I do want to, before I move away from the performances, I do want to say it's the performance that Josh Andres Rivera gives as Snow's friend. He's the one person that's against the Hunger Games. He's very vocal about it. And it just shows that not everyone, even mentors, are on board with this. So like he gave a way more powerful performance than I thought. Jason Schwartzman as Lucky Flickerman. Pretty good performance. Not as iconic as Stanley Tucci as Caesar Flickerman. I mean, he's obviously. I mean, Stanley Tucci's a fantastic actor. Nothing against Jason Schwartzman, but Stanley Tucci was just fantastic as Caesar Flickerman. But it's also like you see like the ideas that eventually happen in the Hunger Games because they're saying that hey, things got to change with the Hunger Games. If you look at the Hunger Games itself, they're still brutal, but the arena's smaller. You don't have the trees, you don't have the big crazy cornucopia, you don't have the lakes or streams of water, you don't have the mutts or the monkeys in the trees that are attacking. You don't have like the dangerous stuff originally. I mean, something does later happen that the Capitol just throws in there, but that's due to the fact of something that happened before the games or connected to the games outside the arena, and it's just basically the game makers just taking out their anger out on something that happens in the movie. Pan Am looks great. They capture Pan Am. We're in Pan Am a lot more in this movie. It's really in the third part that we spend time in District 12. And District 12 looks exactly how I would picture District 12, even many years before Katniss Everdeen is born. So the settings are still great. The costume designs are still great as well. Well, they do a great job of capturing what the people in the Capitol are dressed compared to everyone else, including the tributes from the districts. And I think they also highlight how poor some of the other districts are when you see their tributes and how they're dressed. But it also shows just how radically different the Hunger Games were before President Snow became, well, before Snow became President Snow, before we see the Hunger Games that Katniss had participated in. We see how the tributes are treated way worse back then. And like they're thrown in the zoo for everyone to watch. Minor spoiler, but it's not like a huge spoiler, so it's like a minor spoiler right there. Sorry if I spoiled that. But also, like they don't have like some of the training stuff, the sponsorship stuff. It's a lot more harder. So I love how they highlight just how different the Hunger Games are, and then there's some things that Snow suggests that you're like, wait, we see that later happen in a future Hunger Games movie. So I like that as a prequel. Yeah, it's obviously setting up stuff, but it feels like it's key to the story and it just shows like how certain decisions were made. But it is that third act that I think the movie starts to fall apart. And like I said, it's not a terrible third act. There's still some stuff in there that I enjoy. But it just feels like Cornelius Snow's character, while the actor does such a great job of playing Snow, it feels like things in the third act with his character are rushed and we don't get a whole lot of time to process it. I know this is a long movie. It's like over 2 hours and 40 minutes or 2 hours and 30 minutes long. But it's like I feel like if they just developed certain stuff more, they could have fleshed out that third act more because the first two parts of this movie are great in my opinion. And the third act, things just fumble. But I also think that's just a problem with the book that this is adapting in general. And I put that more so on the author because I think because there was a problem in the book as well. And again, the book probably should have been split up into two books. But overall, with the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I enjoyed going back to Pan Am and or revisiting the Hunger Games. And I wouldn't mind revisiting other Hunger Games before Katniss's. Personally, I would like to see the Hunger Games that the character Haymitch was in. I don't know if anyone else would agree, but that would be the Hunger Games I'd be interested in. But overall, with the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, I'm going to give this film, I'm going to give it a B plus because I thought those first two acts were handled so well, and it reminded me of why I loved the first two movies a lot. It was that third part that we were kind of starting to dwindle into Mockingjay territory where things could have been worked out better, but it's not terrible. But yeah, the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Have you seen this movie? And what's your favorite prequel to a book or movie or favorite prequel movie? For me, I would still say Star Wars Revenge of the Sith is still my favorite prequel movie of all time. Let me know in the comments down below. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share this with someone that likes the Hunger Game movies. And I hope to see you guys real soon. I will be reviewing Mockingjay parts 1 and 2 together in my next review and go more into detail on how I feel about those movies. But until then, take care, everyone.